Warriors, welcome back to Gods of Alliance. If you're here, it means you want power, knowledge, and control over the battlefield. This is not luck. This is strategy. Let's break the game together. Today we're going to talk about something many players have been asking about since the beginning of this week, the Relics of Oya. These relics arrived recently in Hero Wars Alliance, and naturally the first reaction from the community was curiosity. Players immediately want to know the same thing. Do these relics actually make Oya stronger? And if so, how much does it change the way she performs in the current meta? But before jumping directly into the relic effects, we need to do something important. If we want to understand the impact of relics properly, we first need to understand how Oya works as a hero. Because relics do not always change the identity of a hero. Very often, they simply amplify the mechanics that the hero already had. And when we look closely at Oya, that seems to be exactly what is happening here. Oya is a very interesting damage dealer because her entire design revolves around punishing enemies that rely on shields. And if you look at the current state of Hero Wars Alliance, you will quickly notice that many teams depend heavily on shield mechanics to survive. Defensive heroes, control compositions, and several frontline tanks rely on shields to slow down damage and protect their team. But Oya was never designed to struggle against shields. She was designed to punish them. So let's start by looking at her abilities in the correct order, beginning with her first skill. The first skill is Shield Breaker. This ability deals physical damage to the nearest enemy, but the key mechanic here is how it interacts with shielded targets. Enemies protected by shields take significantly more damage from Oya's abilities. That already makes her a natural counter to shield-based teams. But there is another detail that becomes important during longer fights. If Oya manages to kill an enemy using Shield Breaker, she immediately gains additional energy. That means she can cycle through her abilities faster and maintain pressure on the enemy team. Now, when relics are introduced, this skill becomes even more dangerous. With the relic upgrade, 75% of the damage from Shield Breaker is also applied to every enemy that currently has a shield. This changes the skill from a simple single-target attack into something that can pressure multiple enemies at the same time. Imagine a situation where several enemies receive shields from their team composition. Suddenly, Oya is capable of damaging multiple targets simultaneously without even switching targets. The defensive mechanic that was meant to protect the enemy team can actually expose them to more damage. Now let's move to the second skill, Hunting. This ability marks the enemy with the lowest health as the hunter's prey. Once the enemy is marked, several things begin to happen during the fight. First, attacks against that marked enemy burn energy. Each hit reduces the target's energy, slowing down their ability to reach their ultimate skill. Energy control is extremely powerful in Hero Wars. If an enemy cannot gain enough energy, they cannot activate their strongest abilities. And that means Oya is not only dealing damage, she is also interfering with the enemy team's tempo. But Hunting also provides an offensive buff to Oya's allies. Whenever allies heal themselves or receive healing from Oya, they gain increased critical hit chance for a few seconds. This bonus becomes even stronger when nature heroes are involved, which explains why Oya often appears in compositions built around nature-based teams. So Hunting serves two purposes. It weakens an enemy target, while also increasing the offensive potential of Oya's allies. Now we move to the third ability, Overwhelming. This is one of Oya's most aggressive abilities. When activated, she performs 3 consecutive attacks against the enemy. Each strike increases the damage of the next, creating a burst sequence that becomes stronger with every hit. But when relic upgrades are applied, this ability gains an additional effect that significantly increases its strategic value. With the relic enhancement active, each strike from Overwhelming also burns energy from enemies who currently have shields. This means that whenever Oya attacks shielded enemies, she not only deals damage, but also slows down their ability to generate energy. This is where her design becomes very interesting. The more shields appear in the fight, the more opportunities Oya has to disrupt the enemy team's energy flow. Instead of protecting the enemy team, shields can actually make it harder for them to use their abilities. Now we reach Oya's fourth ability, Brutal Onslaught. This is her passive ability. and it introduces an important sustain mechanic into her kit. Whenever an ally deals a critical hit or breaks an enemy shield, they restore health. And again, nature heroes benefit even more from this effect. This means that Oya does not only contribute damage, she also adds survivability to her team by rewarding aggressive play. Teams that deal critical damage frequently will benefit from constant healing, making them more difficult to eliminate in extended battles. Now that we understand how Oya's abilities function, we can finally look at the additional mechanics introduced by Relics. One of the new Relic abilities is Predator Bite. Every 10 seconds, Oya automatically attacks the nearest enemy and also strikes every enemy that currently has a shield. This ability may seem simple, but its impact becomes very noticeable during longer fights. Even when Oya is not actively using her main abilities, Predator Bite continues applying pressure. And once again, shielded enemies become the primary targets. The more shields appear during the battle, the more frequently this ability applies damage across multiple enemies. The final Relic ability unlocks at level 30 and is called Huntress's Fury. This ability increases Oya's damage by 20%, but its real strength lies in the second effect. Every time an enemy receives a shield, Oya gains additional damage for 12 seconds. Now imagine a team composition that applies shields frequently during the fight. Each new shield triggers this effect, allowing Oya's damage to scale continuously during the battle. This creates a very interesting dynamic. Instead of shields protecting the enemy team, they can actually empower Oya and make her stronger over time. When we step back and analyze the entire Relic system, one thing becomes very clear. The Relics do not completely redefine Oya as a hero. Instead, they amplify the role she was always meant to play, breaking shields, punishing defensive mechanics, and controlling the pace of the fight. Against teams that rely heavily on shields, Oya becomes more dangerous as the battle progresses. Every shield becomes another opportunity for her abilities to activate additional effects. Of course, Relics alone do not determine whether a hero becomes dominant in the meta. Team composition, positioning, and synergy will always play an important role in determining how strong a hero truly becomes. And that is exactly what we are going to explore next. In the coming days, we will release a full Oya guide where we analyze her builds, scaling mechanics, and optimal upgrades in much greater detail. We will also break down the best teams to play with Oya, showing you how to build compositions that fully take advantage of her mechanics. Because understanding the abilities is only the first step. Mastering how to use them is where real strategy begins. We don't build randomly. We build with intention. Master the mechanics. Control the fight. Let's break the game together.